Okay, lately there are complaints about Visual Basic 6, that is VB6, being discontinued by the Microsoft. But the truth of the matter is VB6 is very much alive in the higher versions of Visual Basic language. Today I will show you how to convert a VB6 program into a Visual Basic 2015 program, Visual Basic 2015 that comes with Visual Studio 2015. I will call it VB15 hereafter. First thing, for the purpose of this demo, I actually wrote a small program in the VB6 language, and then I will show you how to convert it and make it work in VB15. First I will tell you something about the functionality of this program, the VB6 program. What it does is, when we enter a piece of information, in this case the name and age of a person, into a text box, the program will analyze the string. It will extract the names, first name, middle name and last name separately, and the age also separately, and adds it to a local database. It will also give a serial number to the records, each time incrementing it by 1. First, what I will do is, I already have the VB6 program copied into my Word document, and I also copied it into the clipboard, onto the clipboard. And then what I will do is, first I will go to the code window and paste the VB6 code here. So what you will see first here is a lot of red flags, because this code doesn't belong to Visual Basic 2015, VB15. All the statements are shown as errors here. We will correct them one by one. First I will also review the code. I organized the code in the VB6 into 3 subs. The first sub will extract, that is, I called it extract age. It will extract the extract the age, and then the second sub, extract names, will analyze and extract the first name, middle name and last name. And the third sub is add to book. The add to book sub will add all this information as a record to the local database, giving it a serial number. So now I will start correcting this code. First thing we'll do here is this command one click from VB6 should go. It is called button one click here in the VB15. I forgot to tell you, I already created the user interface here to save time in this presentation. The user interface is made up of 1 list box, 1 button and 4 text boxes. So I will go back to the code again, and for correcting this code, this statement, the variables that are categorized under public should go underneath the first line of the program in the VB15. So I will cut it here and paste it here. Paste. So in the next step, I will add a couple of statements at the beginning of the program. Those statements are, the first one is option explicit. Of, and the second statement is option infer on. So basically what we are telling the program is that we will not declare the variables explicitly, and we are asking the program to infer them as we create them and use them. That way we can concentrate on the development of the algorithm. And next, when we start correcting the program in VB6, wherever we called text1 etc., we have to call them as text box 1 dot text etc. So that will take care of it. You see the red flag is gone. Here I did not name the text boxes. I just left them as is with the default names. And secondly, the clear statement doesn't work in VB15, so I will just leave it as quotation mark spaces. So that will take care of it. And then wherever we say a string function like left, it should be actually a method like that can work across the languages, which is Visual Basic. Okay, I'm sorry. First, it should be Microsoft dot Visual basic dot left. We have to correct it everywhere where it says left or right, which are actually string functions in VB6. They become actually Microsoft Visual Basic methods here. So I will copy it and paste it here. Paste. Then you can see here a lot of red flags have disappeared already as we correct this code. By the way, this code will only serve as an example. Your code might be entirely different. What you need to do is you just place the mouse on the underlined item and it will show the potential fixes. And then you can do it by trial and error and come up with the correction. So here we don't need these list index, these list boxes, and also whatever is there on the form that will load automatically when we actually start the program. So in the VB15 we don't need this code under form initialization and also under the list box. So I eliminated it here. I will still go here and form initialize. Okay. The code under form initialize also I will eliminate it here. Okay, now we have very few errors left now. And the third sub here is add to book. That is a very tricky item. I will deal with that a little bit later, but at this point of time I will go back to the design view, and here what we need to do is we have to connect the local database to this program and add the fields, attach the fields to various objects here, to the list box and the text boxes. If you remember in the VB6, we connect the database to the program by using the object called data. That is under the toolbox. We add the data object to the form first, and then at one end we connect the data object to the database, and the other end we connect it to the objects here on the form. So that step is taken over by a wizard here in the VB15. So basically ceremonially do just what I am doing here. Go to view and then other windows and view, other windows and data sources. Here it will say that add new data source because it has no data source added to the program. Double click here. It will take us to the wizard, which is database, and go to next. Dataset, again next. My computer is a little bit slow. Okay, here don't forget to click on new connection. Okay, here you go to change. Here you have to basically specify there is an SQL server also, but our database type here is Access database. So the one I have on the C drive here is an Access database which I am going to connect to this program. So say OK here, and then go to browse, and then file name. The one I am going to add here is normlist.mdb. That is the same one which I had with the VB6 program, which it is on a different computer, but I actually transported it here and put it on the C drive already. So let me double click here and open. So here at this point of time we can test and see if the program actually, if the database is connected to the program. So test connection succeeded. Say OK and OK again. You see that normlist MDB here. Then next, and for this you say no, and next again. Okay, now these tables and views, these are the ones that are extracted from my local database. That database was originally created in the VB6 using the visual data manager in the VB6 language. So we'll go to tables. The name of the table is norms, and we will say we will expand this node, and there are only two fields here. Your program may contain a lot of fields, but in this case we have only two fields, and I am going to use both of them. So I will tick mark and select both of them here, and then we will finish it. Yeah, we have this table with fields here. The next step is to add these fields, connect these fields to the objects on the form. Let me do a little bit more work here with the user interface. This one I will leave it as a single line text box, but this one I want to make it a multi-line text box. So click it here and expand it. Let me expand it all the way here, and then this also I want to make it a multi-line box. You will know why later on, and then expand it. Text box 4 also I will make it a multi-line box and expand it. Okay, now I am going to, this is too big. The next step, I will actually connect the fields to the boxes here, objects here on the form. That part is very simple here in the VB15. Just drag and drop it in the box, list box here. I will add the serial number to one list box and also one text box. When you see this plus sign here, that means it is going to work. I mean, we are doing it right. Then description, I will add it only to the text box 4. Now we have to do a little bit more work with this connections. Let me check and see. Go to the properties and expand the node. Expand the data binding node. Here says norms binding source. Actually, when we added these fields to the boxes, there are some 4 classes created here by the wizard. They are called norm list dataset, norms binding source, norms table adapter, and table adapter manager. We are going to use them to create objects a little bit later, but at this point of time you should know wherever it says norms binding source, that is table name followed by the binding source statement in the camel case format. Wherever it says, it is exactly, let me go to the list box. Okay, it is exactly the same statement as data1 in VB6. Wherever we call data1 in VB6 must be replaced by norms binding source here, which is table name followed by the binding source statement. And also here it is exactly the same as the properties box here, dialog box here, in VB6. One more thing we need to do here is under this data source, we will again say norms binding source, and display member would be serial number. And then if we go to the text box 3 where we added serial number field, it is same. If we expand this, it says norms binding source, that is correct. And text box 4, again if we expand, it says norm binding source. So we made the connections correctly. The next step is going back to the code window and work with the add to book. This is the trickiest thing. This code what we wrote in VB6 doesn't work at all in the VB15. So what we need to do is, the VB15 has many object oriented methods where we can add records to the local database. The purpose of this sub, add to book sub, is to add records to the local database. So this code doesn't work. Instead, I wrote another code after doing some research, and again I put it on a Word document. Let me copy it first. Copy here, and then let me close this window and replace this code under the sub add to book, the new code. Basically what I did here was we create an object of the norms table adapter. I showed you before that object, that class you can see here, norms table adapter, and we make an object of the class, and then wherever we set data1, that is replaced by norms binding source, And when it says nonce binding source move last, we will have the under text box 3 what we see is the serial number, last serial number that was left there, and then I pick it up by calling the value of the text box and then add 1 to increment the serial number by 1 number and then add it back to the text box 3. This is the logic. This is not actually the conversion part of the program. This is the logic I created. Okay, and then text box 2.text will collect all the information that the program did work and extracted the names. All that information is grouped under text box 2.text, and then that is actually this should be text box. Text. Okay, that the information. If you remember, text box 4.text is actually connected to the description field. So that description is the various names here, first name, middle and last name, and the age. That is actually copied into the text box 4.text. So here we have text box 3.text connected to the serial number, text box 4.text connected to the description, those two fields. So let me make this also. There is a little mistake here. It should be text box 4.text. So in the insert method, nonce table adapter, that this is the statement you have to research and use this. This is the one that works. So nonce table adapter dot insert, and we will give these two table and text box 3.text and text box 4.text. Whatever we extracted, we entered the information here. Whatever information that is entered here, that we are inserting as a new record. So you can see there are no errors at all in this code now, and it should work perfectly. For this, what I will do first is save it by clicking on save all, and then I will go to the debugging mode and start the program and see what happens. The computer itself is slow and the program also is slow, so it will actually give us the user interface that actually we can use. So here it is. Now I will show you this program in action. I will add here my name. I will call myself Bob Bassa, and my age, my middle name is I will say V middle initial, and also I will add my age 60 and say button one click. There are some message boxes, but we will not worry. See now, first name, last name, middle name and age are extracted separately by the program and added as the 41st record to a local database, to the local database. That local database was originally created in the VB6 program. Here we don't see it in the list box until we exit the program and reload it, because it is during the reloading function, that is reloading action, that this is loaded, the new record is loaded. So let me do that, and again go to debug and start debugging. And if you go back here and say the 40, click on the 41st record, You can see that my name Bob Basavi, age 60. Basically, one more thing I forgot to mention. Wherever you say LFCR, if you declare LFCR is this is an important thing I forgot. LFCR is the carriage return function character. If you declare LFCR as char CHR 13 plus CHR 10, it will work perfectly also in the VB15. Otherwise, if you don't declare, you can actually say VB LFCR or VB, I think it is CLRF. You have to change the statement from LFCR to VB CLF or something like that. You can actually research that. But if you declare it as char 13 plus char 10, it will perfectly work also in the VB15. Basically, this should serve as an example. And basically what you need to do is you hover the mouse on the underlined items which are red flags, and it will show you the potential fixes, and you can trial and error. I actually converted a very large program like the one I wrote for analyzing the gene bank data, gene bank sequences. That was about 50-page program. I didn't have any problem converting it into VB16. Basically, our goal here is to have a program that can be distributed legally, to have a product, publish it legally, which we can publish legally. Okay. I hope this demonstration would help you. Thank you for watching. Go here. Stop it.